Hello YouTube and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host Aaron Hauser, and tonight we're going to be doing a very groovy review of the Evil Dead 2 Series 1 set of figures from NECA. This includes the Farewell to Arms Ash as well as Deadite Ash. There will be two other figures coming for Series 2. There will be the Henrietta figure as well as the Hero Ash, which I will actually get to show you a picture of in a second here. But I'm actually going to start off this review a little differently. I just wanted to show off the clamshell packaging for these two figures. They're beautifully done, and they really brought me back to NECA's kind of original style with the Cult Classics line and some of the older figures that they used to release. And I just thought this was, you can really tell that a lot of love and a lot of passion for the Evil Dead films went into making these figures and designing and creating the marketing for these. So give you kind of a brief overview of the packaging here. You've got the classic Evil Dead 2 skull there from Dead by Dawn. Dead by Dawn on the side there. And then on the back here you've actually got a lineup of the 4 figures that will complete this whole series. There's Deadite Ash, Farewell to Arms Ash, Hero Ash, and Henrietta. And it's got different quotes on the side there. And then your basic title up top. There's also kind of a brief overview of Ash's character on the back here. But yeah, I just thought the simplicity and the look of this, the packaging, just did a very good job in kind of setting the mood for this line, which is going to be incredible. And this is, I don't know, honestly, this is probably the one line of figures I've been excited about the most from NECA within the last couple years. And now that NECA's really got their act together as far as production and quality control, at least for their figures, I'm really excited to get these guys out of the package to see what all they come with and how they hold up. So let's get them out of the package. And here they are out of the package. First we'll do the Farewell to Arms Ash. Really great detail on this one. Let me give you kind of a close-up look of the figure. Let the camera focus there. This is definitely the best sculpt of Bruce Campbell that NECA has done so far. I like the ones that they did for the Cult Classics S-Mart Ash as well as the Medieval Ash, but this really captures Bruce Campbell a hell of a lot better. And, you know, by comparison, completely blows the McFarlane versions out of the water. So, way to go, NECA. Now, as far as articulation goes, he's got articulation on the head, a little limited because of the hair, and it seems kind of tight, like you can't actually do any sort of side-to-side movement, which kind of sucks. And he can only rotate about kind of that far. He can do 360, but it feels kind of tight when it gets to the sides there. So he's got flexibility in the shoulders, back and forth, up and down, in and out. At the elbows, on his wrist here, it's incredibly loose, and it has a tendency to pop off because the ball joint, or the socket there, is not very deep. And I'll get into that in a second. But rotation in the wrist there. On this arm, there's no rotation in the wrist because it's just a nub. And then he's got the rotation in the elbow and in the shoulders. He's got rotation at the pelvis there. In the torso, it's kind of limited. It feels like it could snap if you go any further than that, but I'm sure you could do a 360 if you kind of heated up the joints a little. Rotation in the upper hips there, rotation in the mid-thigh, and then flexibility in the kneecap, and flexibility in the ankles. He's got kind of a ball joint for the ankles, which is nice. Now, let me get in for a minute here and talk about the knee articulation. I know a lot of people have voiced their opinion, said that they really don't like the addition of knee articulation because they think it just kind of distracts from the sculpt. honestly, the way NECA has done this is beautifully, beautifully done. When the knee's straight out like this, it looks great. It doesn't look like there's any protruding edges on the kneecap, so it's not that bad. Plus, you can get them in a variety of different stances with that added articulation, which is very, very nice. So I like it. I think with this sculpt, it works very well. It might be a little uglier on some other figures, but for this series, I think this works perfectly. So, you know, another score for NECA there. Really loved how they added the torn up pants leg there from where the Deadites were getting at him. Now, he can do a variety of stances here, but my main complaint with this figure was that the stance that you want him to do, which is, let me see if I can get it right again. Oh, see, there goes the wrist again. Kind of like that sort of deal. You can do that, but there's very limited articulation in the wrist, so it has a tendency, if you kind of rotate the wrist in the way you like it, the wrist will pop off, so you got to be very careful with that. It doesn't feel like it's going to break anything, but because it is, you know, a ball and socket setup, it will come out fairly easily. So you can do the classic stance like that, which looks pretty cool. Now, as far as accessories goes, he actually comes with a couple different ones. My personal favorite being the axe. It was really cool that NECA paid attention to the different colors of the blood in the film. One of the things that Evil Dead 2 had to do to kind of bring down their rating a bit was that they had to change the colors of the blood throughout the film. So if you notice, it goes from being kind of, you know, blood red to this black sludge, and then it's kind of this oozy green sort of color at one point. But there's actually the green blood on here from when he took out another Deadite in the film. So that was kind of a cool addition for NECA to pay attention to. I was really, really pleased that they added the detail on that like they did. He also comes with a possessed arm, which looks really cool. Give you kind of a close-up there. Got a really good detail on that with the nails and everything. And then there's a rotation in the wrist for that one too. And then he also, of course, comes with the severed hand, the Deadite hand that runs around the room, and he just starts filling the walls full of lead, trying to get this thing to scurry out so that he can kill it. It's got the wound where he's stabbed it into the floor there, which is really cool. It's all kind of bloody and maimed looking. And then it's also really cool that they added all the detail on this for the bones there, which is really cool. But it's nice because you can actually sit this down and it kind of automatically has that sort of scurrying sort of pose to it like it does in the film. So, very cool addition there. Let's do the Deadite Ash next. This one, by far, is the coolest of the two. I really love the accessories that comes with him. I love the sculpt, the paint detail that went into Deadite Ash, and the look of him is just incredible. So, first off, I want to start out by pointing out the accessories for this one, because this one had the best accessories. Comes with Linda's decapitated head there with the black blood smeared all over her mouth there, which is cool. The white eyes and everything. Looks a lot like the actress too, which is pretty cool. And then they did a really cool job with the detail on the stump of her neck. You've got the esophagus and the airways, and then you got the there's like a chunk of spinal column in there too, which is pretty cool. But it just looks really, really cool. But it's nice that the way they made it with her hair, you can actually kind of just sit her there, and she balances fine. So it's not like you're gonna put it on the shelf and it's just gonna, you know, roll over or anything. It'll actually stay up pretty well. Also comes with the tape recorder that plays back the passages of the Necronomicon in the film. It doesn't actually do any sound or anything. Sorry, but the detail on it is actually very cool. Little tape reels, little buttons and everything. Very cool looking. And then he also comes with the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, bound in human flesh, inked in human blood. Very, very cool edition. And you can kind of see it's got the face on there and everything, and it's definitely got that kind of leathery look that it did in the film, which is really cool. So, close up here of Deadite Ash. I just love the way they made his face. It looks so fucking awesome. This one has the exact same articulation in the wrist, elbow, shoulders, torso slightly, hips, mid-thigh, knee, and ankle. Another thing that I'd like to point out is NECA actually included peg holes for these figures. They've been doing that with almost all their figures through the years, but they originally did it because they released them with stands for like the Cult Classic series. Now, I'm not sure why they continue to make these figures with the holes for the stands, and they don't sell stands or bring any or like have any stands with the individual figures. So I'm really hoping that NECA will actually kind of step up to the plate now that McFarlane has discontinued their line of stands to provide us with some that would be really cool for displaying our figures. So NECA, if you end up watching this, thank you for the awesome figures. Please, please make some goddamn stands. We've been waiting for years, and, you know, it would be really nice so that we don't have these guys doing shelf dives. Anyways, end of rant. This is by far one of the coolest, probably, of the Evil Dead 2 line. Give you kind of a look there. As far as paint application goes, aside from the face, which is kind of the obvious one, he's a bit more sweaty looking in the Farewell to Arms Ash. And then this one, he kind of looks a bit more wet from being dragged through the forest by the Deadite spirits. So, very, very cool. Both of these figures are awesome. Now, as far as price-wise goes for these two, I paid $15. I ended up ordering the two of these, pre-ordered them through a company I really love called Urban Collectibles, and you can find them if you just Google Urban Collectibles. They'll come up. But they've got really good prices on figures, so I just figured I'd plug them. But these were about $15 each, and I believe they still have some in stock. But from what I've heard, these guys are selling fairly quickly. So if you're a big Evil Dead or Bruce Campbell fan, I would definitely get these sooner rather than later, just to avoid having to pay $40 for each of these when they become a bit more rare. So, but that being said, you know, honestly, as big of a Evil Dead fan as I am, I would love nothing more than to get the other two of these when they come out. Like I said, they will be releasing a Henrietta figure, the possessed Deadite from Evil Dead 2, and then they're also going to be releasing the Hero Ash, which is going to be the classic one with the chainsaw hand and the shotgun. So look for those in, I want to say they're in the summer or the fall, but they're coming out this year, which will be really cool. So, but yeah, other than that, if you have any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. And check out some of my other reviews. As always, thanks for watching.